There is, however, some concern for the party in areas with large Muslim populations. Earlier today, on average, the party's support was down by 8 points since last year in wards where more than 10% of people identify as Muslim. We could look specifically at Oldham Council, where only some seats were up for grabs. Labour bagged 7. Down 5, with independents doing very well. Keir Starmer's party still, as you can see, have 27 seats. They're the largest party, but lost the council to no overall control. And the party are picking up signs it's not just Muslim voters, but younger left-leaning ones that are looking at alternatives because of Gaza. Liberal Democrats
speak to Shadow Defence Minister Steve McCabe. Well, welcome to you, Mr McCabe. Obviously, you have been a long-standing MP in the Birmingham area. I wonder what you're hearing about the West Midlands mayoral race.
Well, it's mixed, to be honest. I don't think we will be very clear until we're well into tomorrow. In certain parts of the region, the Labour candidate Richard Parker seems to have done very well. But there is some suggestion, as we heard earlier, that in areas where there are larger Muslim populations, the Labour vote may be down a bit.
Right. OK. So that has your stance on Gaza is what is it costing you the West Midlands mayoralty? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was simply saying that the picture is mixed. In some areas, we seem to be doing quite well, and that gives us quite a lot of confidence. But there are reports, they're not confirmed, there are reports that in some areas where there are larger Muslim populations, the vote may be down a bit, as you've just reported yourself.
Sure. So what is Labour going to do about that over the coming weeks and months?
Well, I think we simply have to have bigger and better conversations with Muslim families around the country. We need to understand their distress about Gaza, but they need to have a better understanding of what Labour's position actually is, and they also need to hear more about the other things that the Labour Party stands for, which are much more in their interests and in their families' interests.
Well, your position finally switched to calling for an immediate ceasefire in February, providing both Israel and Hamas agree to it. So, and several months later, it's still affecting your vote. That must be worrying.
Well, look, Gaza is an immense problem for everyone, but the reality is we do want a ceasefire. We do want aid into Gaza. We do want a durable ceasefire that leads to peace talks and a two-state solution. And we do want the hostages released.
But I wonder if
most fair-minded people would support that position.
I wonder if, as John McDonnell is suggesting, Keir Starmer needs to apologise for the previous position, for his interview on LBC, says John McDonnell, and for the failure to back a ceasefire in the first vote in Parliament. Do you think he needs to apologise to Muslim voters for that?
No, I don't. I mean, the conditions for a ceasefire require the release of the hostages, and I think most people would recognise that.
Do you think people know what Starmerism is?
Well, I think they know that it's about a changed Labour Party, a moderate Labour Party, a Labour Party that's capturing the centre ground of politics.
How would you define it in sort of plain English for voters? What does it mean?
It's the Labour Party they're familiar with, the Labour Party that looks after them and seeks to do best by people and their families.
And how will it be better for families if Labour do win the next election?
Well, we will genuinely seek to make work pay. We'll seek to address the issue of homelessness. We'll seek to address the problems in our schools and our hospitals, and we'll invest in skills so that we can actually build the economy that the country needs.
But you're not really going to spend any money. How can you do all that?
Well, of course we're going to spend money. We just won't spend or squander it the way the present government has been doing.
Thank you very much for talking to our audience tonight. Thank you.